Yeah, na, yeah. Certain fire flames, now born again. Times really change. Talk truth, we seen better days. The youth not safe again. What a damn shame. Talk truth, how that them a promote. So quick them selling out, them sold them cashing out. Yeah, well, this is Kemetic 9 representing for YardSlangz and the mindset. If you now move right, get your mind checked. Oh yeah.
YardSlangz, wait there. Somebody say something about Jamaican patois and style and fashion. Yes, to Ras. Me a search the other day online and buck up on a new, authentic Jamaican clothing brand. Wagwan are the latest and newest one. In a t-shirt, hoodie, slippers and woman's bag. And a whole heap of other things I may not even mention. Search online for more information. YardSlangz, hit them with a bang. Blessed love, pleasant good evening. Wow, pleasant good night. Warm welcome, honorable family. Want to greet the item in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First, and also Empress Menin the First. Holy Emmanuel I, King Selassie I Jah, Rastafari. One more day we're above ground. We're giving thanks and praise for our ultimate position, which is life. As you know, life are the ultimate thing, not no greater than that, no matter what go on. Yes, honorable family. Wow, give thanks. You know, we're there. Yeah. Well, the time, the time is 54 minutes after the hour of 11. Yeah, so 6 minutes to 12 midnight here in the UK. And by then, we're there in the Emperor birthday, our Earth Strong. Yeah, 23rd of July. So, I want to yes, royal art of celebration to the item, at this moment. Yeah, we're 6 minutes to the hour of 12. Alright, and it's 132 years anniversary. Seeing? Yeah, of His Imperial Majesty Kadamawi Haile Selassie I the First. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we're there, and it's it's a good time to be here. We're looking at another interesting topic in the night here. I want to say manners and respect to everyone out there in the chat room. Zane and Tony, Natty Reed, Ashley, Archie. Yeah, man, manners and respect, blessed love. Give thanks to the item presence, Zane. So yeah, we are looking on why an apology is not enough for the church involvement in the slave trade. That is what we're looking at. What the thumbnail I say? Thumbnail I say the church sinned. The church sinned. The church full up of sin. Why an apology for slavery from the church is not enough. That is what the thumbnail is saying. The church sinned. So that's what we are looking at in the night. But believe you me have a whole heap of things more have to say. Me have a whole heap of things more have to say. And is a it's a calling program, as there them can see, the number there at the top of the chat room, ready anytime there them can call. Seeing? Yeah, the phone line open. Yeah. Straight away when I itch. Why an apology is not enough for the church involvement in slavery. So, the phone line is open. Straight away. We are take call immediately. You don't know me have my little presentation still. Yeah. Me have my little things that me want to say regarding the whole thing, But on top of all of that, me have a whole heap of other things that me still want to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whole heap of things I Selassie God know. Well, I think I need about 2 good spliff or 3 good spliff in a night. You see me? Well, I'm not going too bad pan the thing, you know. 7,500, that's not too bad. Almost 10,000. Yeah. Wow, what a day, man. What a day. I say His Majesty Earth Strong is approaching. Next 2 minutes, and we know His Majesty Earth Strong from this side of the world still. You know, I know elsewhere, you know, still in a different time zone, still in a Monday, like how we're still in a Monday still. You know, but yeah. Celebration. I'm wondering if I should, you know, head up to Bath. You know, even though I really didn't have any plans on going up there. But who knows? Who knows what might happen tomorrow morning. Yeah. But Rasta put out a video early in the day, and yeah, it's well, not really early in the day. I think about 7:30 it published. Yeah, it premieres 7:30, and we can see a whole lot of people have a lot to say. You know what I mean? Myself have a lot to say. You know, myself have a lot to say, but I think you know, I will keep it probably limited tonight. I think I might do a separate video, you know, a separate broadcast pertaining to certain things that was said on that recording. I want to address a few things, you know what I mean, as usual. You know, I'm not into counter-rocking or challenging or them type of thing. I'm into correction. You know, so I want to correct some things, you know what I mean? Yeah. And as the virgin did say, you know, we all have to learn. See me I say? And sometimes, you know, you can learn a whole heap of things, and it's not really beneficial. You know, a whole heap of things you learn, and it's not beneficial to you or, you know, to anyone else. But you just learn these things, and they're just there, you know, not serving any purpose. You see it. But a lot of things, as I said, been said on the video, and I want to address some of them, you know, on a separate video still, but you know, me I go touch some of them tonight. You know, yeah, because you know, you see what the movement of Rastafari is. A lot of people take it out of context. The movement of Rastafari, Zane, was starting in the 30s in Jamaica. It didn't start nowhere else. Never start nowhere else but in Jamaica. It doesn't matter who did know about His Majesty from who didn't know about His Majesty. His Majesty did a tour of Europe from 1920 something. You understand? His Majesty toured Europe as a regent, Zane, and the Queen Zaya too. Yeah, so His Majesty come to Europe long time, long before him crown king of kings, or him crown, or him become emperor. See? Yeah, long time His Majesty a come to Europe. Yeah, doing more like he was more like a foreign affair minister in a sense. You know what I mean? Because he was the one that was dealing with the foreign affairs. You know? He was His Majesty as regent at the time, so. But no one, nobody on the planet except the Africans on the island of Jamaica who call themselves Rastafari. It was only them alone. I hope I don't want to speak too much patois. I want to speak proper English. So my good English people can understand me. See? It was only the Jamaicans, the slave who was on the slave plantation at Jamaica. Zin, when His Majesty was regent, His Majesty never have no teachings of His Majesty, nothing. Yeah? There was never no teachings of His Majesty when His Majesty a regent. Yes, there are documented things about His Majesty, Zin, but there was no teachings of His Majesty, nothing. The Rasta man them in a Jamaica, the Rastafari brethren them, the man them who created this movement we call Rastafari movement today, where everybody now are hang on to, is them say Emperor Haile Selassie is God. Nobody else in our world never did I say that. No one was saying it. When His Majesty came to England as a regent, Zin, and him come a judgment ball, what you call the place her name? Victoria. Not even King George didn't want to come and meet His Majesty. Nobody never did I say His Majesty a God. Nobody never did I say, no white man never did I say, let me just get it straight. No white guy nowhere was saying His Majesty is God. It was the black man them. Alright, let me get it politically correct now. No European was saying His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie is God Almighty. None of them was saying His Majesty is Jesus Christ return in this time. None was saying that. The only people was saying that was the Africans on the slave plantation of the island of Jamaica in the West Indies was saying that. Nobody else, no whenever did I say that. Nobody didn't saw His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie in that light except us, the Africans. Nobody else never did I say that. And when Bob Marley get famous and popular, And that is when people start to, when Europeans and Europe start to acknowledge that the Rastaman them are revere Emperor Haile Selassie as God. It's when Bob Marley get popular and a tour around the place and a sing about His Majesty. And people could understand what he was saying. Zine, outside of Jamaica. I saw other people start to grasp to what the Rastaman them was saying. Nobody never did that talk about teachings of His Majesty. Nothing. Zine? Listen. You can't twist up this thing, all you don't want to try and do it, you know. You can't twist it up, not when I dey here. You understand? So it better some man learn how this thing really going on and don't try dictate how it go. You understand? It better some man look, because me no go to Jamaica to learn about my roots and heritage, you know. Me born in a it born in a me. Me not gonna where to go learn about this. I'm not someone or something that is assimilating to my culture and roots and my roots and culture. I'm not assimilating to it. See? So a later down now, people are talk about His Majesty teachings. Later down, when Rastafari, the movement, done emerge, long time, see? People are trying to go around, what the movement stand for. So now them are trying to play with words. People are trying to go around and they're not trying to deal with what the movement itself stand for, you know. So what them are trying to do now are play with words. The guy can't play with no words, yes sir. You can't play with no words, yes sir. See? What the movement stand for from the inception is what it stand for today. It not evolve, it not change. Then, what the foundation, or you are going to dig up a foundation, or you go and dig up the foundation, and then put another foundation. The foundation of the foundation. If you dig up the foundation, everything collapse. So you cannot play with no words. Talking about His Majesty teachings. Rastafari movement, Zine, I've been teaching His Majesty from the inception. His Majesty teachings are not just yesterday. So when people are trying to say now, oh, His Majesty teachings, like His Majesty teachings is something separate from what the Rastaman them created in a Jamaica. So that's why you hear the slogan, oh, give us the teachings of His Majesty. We don't want a devil philosophy. That is what Bob Marley came with. That is what Bob Marley came with. I'm not a Bob Marley Rastafari. I am a Rastafari. I'm not a Bob. I'm not coming a Rastafari through Bob Marley and what Bob Marley say. No, we're born in this. So what is His Majesty teachings? Because now it coming like His Majesty teachings is something separate and different from Rastafari. The movement. That is what I get to understand. I don't want to stay too long on this thing, but I don't know. His Majesty teachings. What? The philosophy and opinions. Because you see, when people are talking about His Majesty teachings, let me tell you what people are really talking about. A lot of not conception, a lot of taking out of context speeches when people are talking about His Majesty teachings. A lot of His Majesty speeches have been taken out of context, because when some people are lying certain things about His Majesty, what His Majesty say, and what them are deal with, it didn't have nothing to do with Rastafari and the whole meaning of what His Majesty are deal with. Because a lot of the time when His Majesty make certain quote, he specific to the point. Him specific about if a Africans him a deal with, or him a deal with the whole world. And a lot of things where His Majesty a deal with Africans in specific, Africans him a talk about. Me see a lot of people take it out of context and align it with them. When His Majesty not talking to them, His Majesty is talking to the Africans. Just like how when His Majesty was in the League of Nations, He was talking to Europeans. So a lot of this talk where people are talking about His Majesty teachings is people taking His Majesty out of context. Taking His Majesty out of context. See? And yeah, everyone free to praise His Majesty. If you see Him as God Almighty and the Creator, of course, we're not run a wire fence around His Majesty. You see me I say? We can't run a wire fence around Him anyway. If you as an individual, if you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter what ethnicity are you, what background you are, and you see King Selassie as your God and King and the Creator, who am I to struggle you? Why should I struggle you anyway? You are talk about the God that I serve. You understand? You are praise the God that I serve. So why would I struggle you for that? I don't have no time for that. But when you go and take things out of context now and try to make it look like, say, boy, this is how the thing go, that is when there is discrepancy that we have to sort out, we have to fix. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're not going to sweep them under the carpet. We cannot do that because we have a next generation coming, We have 5 youth. You understand? So we're not going to sweep nothing under the carpet. And we're not going to sugarcoat nothing. Now, Another thing where, me hear one of the brethren say like from 1930 when His Majesty from 1966 when His Majesty come to Jamaica and all of that. And the Rastaman them visit, and the man I said, boy, it's like them days they know, them days there the movement is dying out. Don't know. Or it's no more, or it's coming to an end. You see, our elders are important, our elders within Rastafari, whether they're Naya Bingi, Bobo Shanti, 12 tribe, whichever, the elders are important. You see me? And they were there, in the 66, and, when His Majesty visit, Jamaica. You see me? So they are important. And this today is their legacy. They were there. They went and meet the emperor. And we're there today. So it's not dying out, and it's never gonna die out. Why you think there's a commemoration? Why you think there's a celebration every 21st of April every year? Why you think there's a commemoration? You're talking about dying out and come to an end, man. You see there's a celebration every judgment ball year? Even you celebrate. And this is something that happened in Jamaica. Rasta all over the world celebrate the 21st April. And that is something that happened in Jamaica. And Rasta around the world celebrate it. People must think before them talk. I know who they're talking to when they're talking. You just talk anything. You know what I mean? Even though it was a great conversation still. Nothing malicious, but, just listening back, listening back at the reasoning and thing, There's a lot of things that need to address. And, unity is always strength. You know what I mean? We as African people, we never put ourselves in the position that we find ourselves in. You understand? We put ourselves in the position to praise and to create the movement of Rastafari. We put ourselves in that position. We created that out of being in a I can't even pronounce the word, but being a degraded state. As human being, we created this movement, and now it's world renowned. It's world renowned. It's global. It's international. It's universal. See? So we have to know that with Rastafari, Rastafari is not no joke something. It's not no joke. It's very serious. Because out of what it created out of, what people were going through. A lot of us who today, who is praising Rastafari, never gone through any of that. You know what I mean? Never. So the thing not going change. thing now got change for suit to suit one's personal belief, you know what I mean? The thing is what it is. It is what it is. You can't change it to suit you. You come up with your concepts and ideologies of what Rastafari movement is. That's just your thing. It's not the movement of Rastafari, because you know what it stands for. It still stands. It hasn't changed. As me see a virgin leave a comment on one of the on the video. Let me see if I can find the comment. We soon get to the topic of the night, you know. We're not going away. See, we ain't going anywhere. We are gonna deal with the topic tonight. Trust me. Believe you me, you're not going nowhere at all. You see me? But just have to try and straighten out a few little things here. As I said, I'm gonna do a proper video, you know, dealing with this thing. Yeah. And this is not any attack or anything. I don't want anyone to feel like that. This is just a reaction, and constructive criticism. That is how we grow, and that is how we learn. You know what I mean? We have to be constructive with our criticism. You know, not to tear down anyone. You know. We're not. We don't do that. We're not tear down. We're brother. We're sisters. You know what I mean? No. Yeah. You know, religion personal, as them say. You know, I'm not religious still, so that is another thing. You know what I mean? Why am I not find the comment? The summer boy, you know. But another thing what I notice with African people. African people be frightened sometimes. Like they're frightened for people. And it's like it's always us that should apologize, you know, or should be happy that, you know, other people, you know, have interest in our thing. Listen, you know, we are not Gladys Knight, you know, man. You know, we are human being. You understand? We are not Gladys Knight, man. Seeing, as me say, I never we put ourselves in the position that we find ourselves in. Seeing, now the virgin them we say them a Rasta, and them is not African like, you know, most of I and I. Seeing, and you know, their forefathers and mothers have put us into the position that we find ourselves. They should now agitate with this Rastafari thing, because you can't say you're Rastafari, you know. That's why you see a lot of people keep reminding one that the movement of Rastafari is a black power movement. That's why people keep reminding people, because you cannot have Rastafari and you don't have the black power. Doesn't matter what you do or what you say. Doesn't how much His Majesty teachings you want to tell me about. Because His Majesty endorse black power. Him a one of the first set of man them where I endorse that. So you can't leave that out of it. You can't. That is the intricate part of the Rastafari movement. You know what I mean? It's not just a spiritual thing. You understand? It's not just spiritual where I just King Selassie. No, that's how the movement is. People are trying to make the movement, I try to push narrative like that when it's not so. See, it's not so. So, me don't know. Pointless I try to change the movement, you know what I mean? Can't change it. It's a black power movement. So if one's come in and they're not agitating on that front for African people, for freedom, redemption, and international repatriation. For if that is not a part of the Rastafari where you deal with, then what is it that you're dealing with? Because I and I as Rastafari, that is what we're dealing with. That is an intricate part of the movement. Freedom, redemption, international repatriation. With compensation. It's an intricate part of the movement. You cannot have a Rastafari movement and that is not a part of it. Nothing no go so. Or else it's not no Rastafari movement the item I deal with. As some people keep saying, His Majesty, His Majesty teachings. His Majesty, so alright, hold on to His Majesty teachings, but we know about Rastafari. Rastafari teachings we know about. See? Because anybody can name His Majesty. Anybody can name His Majesty. You have His Majesty of England, and Sweden and Holland and all these other places. But Rastafari, King Selassie are only in Ethiopia, and it's only the Rastaman them from Africa praise him. Now everybody a hold on upon him and I try to change up the Rastaman them. I try to change up the Rastaman them things and I come tell you about His Majesty teachings now, but Rastaman them know. You can't tell the Rastaman them nothing, you know, what them not already know. Can't tell them nothing what them not already know. Because nothing is new under the sun. So you can't tell what we already know. You know what I mean? So if the virgin and sister in them is not agitating freedom, redemption, and international repatriation for the black African world, because that is what Rastafari stand for. We stand for freedom, redemption, and international repatriation with compensation. We are to be taken back home. Zane? Yeah, who can go home? But the mass, the poor and have not, is to be taken back home. And that is why we agitate as Rastafari. We don't leave this out of Rastafari and just say, boy, it's just a church thing. No, church thing what? Church thing what? No, just no church thing, Bridget. No, just no church thing. His Majesty went to Jamaica. See? As me say, Natty Reid typing of the thing there. And say, the people of Jamaica and Ethiopia, them are the said people. He never said the people of Scotland or the people of Ireland or the people of Wales or the people of England. He did not say that. When him go to Jamaica, him tell the people them say them and the people of Ethiopia are the said people them that. And leopard never change them spot. I mean, so people can't come tell we nothing about us. We know about us. You understand? I think people should learn about us, other than trying to behave like they know more about us than we know about ourselves. You understand? Each one teach one, yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. But I note, I notice, people have anyway, let me not even go there. I don't want to upset anyone. Feel like I need to light my spliff. Yeah. Yeah. I know that program I gonna give YouTube trouble tonight. And probably so I look for cut off my live. Yeah. Enough people them no want deal with them. Enough people afraid of them topic anyway. Why an apology for slavery? Oh, slavery was the man still upon the slavery thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. They're still slaving people. So why we shouldn't talk about it and it's still happening? It's still happening. We are chat about we not stop talk about it until it done. Them talk about them abolish it from when one Wilberforce and him friend them. But it's still going on. So we have to talk about it. Oh, slavery again? I'm still there. No, we're coming from a different angle this time. The church have sinned. How about that? The church, the church who worship Jesus Christ have sinned. How about that angle? That's the angle we're coming from tonight. The church, Rasta, the church sin by involving themselves in slavery. How the church, out of everybody, how the church could I get involved in something so inhumane? The church, the same blowout church want to get up and gone to every Sunday, sometime on Saturday, Friday. That's that's church that me talk about. Same Christian church. How the church could have ever involved in something like that? How? Jesus lovers, how the church managed to get involved in something like that till when I ship them, one of the ship them did name Ship of Lubeck, SS Jesus. Yeah. SS Jesus. Ship of Lubeck. Buckley Rasta. You know how much Christian did there on them the church there on them the ship there? Well, a specific ship they I think did sail by the virgin named John Hawkins and in partner in crime Francis Drake, I think he is Francis Drake, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Francis Drake and the one John Hawkins. Yeah, the two of them was given orders by Queen Elizabeth or Queen Victoria. The same people them anyway. To rob the Spanish ship them. To rob all of the Spanish ship them were involved in a slave trade and other business. See? Until them get themselves involved. And you see, when them get themselves involved in it, even though other Englishman was involved in the slave trade, but when England under Francis Drake, Zane and John Hawkins, that is when the thing become popular. You see, just like how reggae music popular and Afrobeat, I saw the thing become popular and world renowned. See? And England was the king of kings in a blowout slave trade in England. And them establish it pan a listen, the Spaniards and the Portuguese them started, you know, under the same church vibes, under the same church, under the same judgment ball Catholic church, the same Christian church, Rasta. The same church. They are the ones who authorize slavery from their end. The church who meant to be worshiping and praising God. The church who meant to be righteous, holy, loving, kind, patient, compassionate, merciful. Rasta, give me some other word there. All of them were there. The church supposed to be towards mankind, towards human being. But the church said, no. You can't be loving and kind to these Africans. They're not humans. They're savages. That is what the church said. The church said us Africans were savages, so they have to be involved in the slave trade. And not me, I make up these things, you know. You think that me, I make them up? Me, I go to one of the favorite judge. Me, I go to BBC. I see what BBC say about, because BBC is well renowned, right? Well, BBC have some document on this thing. And I'm going to quote some of it very soon. So I don't want nobody feel like say, me come here and me have a bee in my bonnet. You know, I have a bee in my bonnet. Like I'm upset. I'm vexed. You know what I mean? No, it's not. It's not me that is making it up. It's never been me. You know what I mean? I do my research though. You know, I do my research. So this is from BBC. BBC what? BBC what? BBC History. British history. Alright, let's go. Let's dive into British history. Not African history. British history. Okay. And it's from the BBC. Okay, so it's credible. This is not fake news. This is not fake news, alright? This is credible. This is credible stuff, man. This is the highest line of credibility. So anyway, historical records show that Islam, and I'm quoting now, and I'm quoting from the BBC British history website. Then, historical records show that Islam and Christianity play an important role in enslavement in Africa. The Arabs control trans-Saharan slave trade, which was underpinned by Islam, helped to institutionalize slave trade on the continent. Okay, that is the Arab part. And during the age of the exploration, Europeans, Christians who approach the continent via the north witness caravan loaded with Africans en route to the Middle East, other arriving much later in West Africa, observe indigenous African slavery, leading them to assume that Africans' enslavement was inherent in the continent. For many early European explorers, the Bible was not only regarded as infallible, it was also their primary reference book. Answer to explain difference in ethnicity, culture, and slavery were found in Genesis 9:24 and 27, which appear to suggest that the differences were a result of sin. Can I continue reading? Let me continue. In this passage, Africans were said to be the descendants of Ham and the son of Noah, who was cursed by his father after looking at his nakedness. From moreover in Genesis 10, the table of nations described the origin of the different races. Different races, this is what BBC is saying, different races. And revealed that one of the descendants of Ham is curse, and that the Cushite were people associated with the Nile region of North Africa. In time, the Europeans connected between sin, slavery, skin color, and belief would condemn Africans. In the Bible, physically or spiritual, slavery is often a conquest of sinful action, while darkness is associated with evil. So basically what BBC I say so white people then come do wickedness on the continent, but them associate wickedness and darkness with black people. I whole thing BBC is saying this is not Ida Star, you know. This is BBC. Zin? BBC, I said this. Let me continue read. Africans, listen now, you know. Africans were considered Eden. Birth of Christianity, scholars now suggest that Christianity had reached Africa by the early 2nd century AD, and that the Christian community in North Africa were among the earliest in the world. But Europeans refused. What BBC said? What did BBC say? But Europeans refuse to acknowledge African Christianity as genuine because because it appeared in, what is this word? Because it appeared Rasta. Sometimes them English word, yeah, you know, sometimes it appear irreconcilable. This I got to twist up my tongue. Know the word, but I just cannot pronounce it right now. And this is how these words do me sometimes. Them can't it's not reconcilable. I think that is what the word is saying. So because it appear irreconcilable with the continent cultural context, the emergency of colonies in the Americas and the need to find laborers saw Europeans turn their attention towards Africa, with some urging that the transatlantic slave trade would enable Africans, especially the Mohammedans, which is the Muslims ones, to come into contact with Christianity and civilization in America. Wow. Ah, boy. It was even urged or argued that the favorable trade winds from Africa to America were evidence of provincial design. Wow, seriously? Ah, boy. What am I there? religion was also a driving force for slavery. This is BBC saying this, you know. This is not I just thought. Religion was also a driving force for slavery in the Americas. Once enslaved Africans were taken to their places of labor, where they were subjected to various processes to make them more compliant to slavery. Christianization was part of this process. All right. Hold on there. Wait there. Wait a minute there. Let me do something here, so. Yes. Begging a pardon there. Rasta. So wait I say so now. Religion was also a driving force for slavery in the Americas. Once enslaved Africans were taken to their place of labor, where they were subjected to various processes to make them more compliant to slavery. In Christianization were part of this process. Ironically, all through evangelism was one of the justification for enslaving Africans. Listen good enough. Very little missionary works took place during the early years. Basically, religion got in the way of money making because it took enslaved Africans away from their work. It also taught them potentially subversive ideas and made it hard to justify their cruel mistreatment by fellow Christians. So you see, once the Africans start to get him noggins together, you know, him start to say something wrong here. Because how can you tell me about a God where you are serve, but you treat me in this manner, virgin? Something not right. Something ain't right. Something not right. So the BBC, thank you very much for this thing here that they had them. I'm gonna read a little bit more. Think I need to read a little bit more. Let me read a little bit more. Nonetheless, some clergy try to push the idea that it was possible to be a good slave and Christian, using as justification St. Paul's epistle, which calls for slaves to obey their master and his writing that appear to suggest it was commendable or commandable for a slave Christian to suffer at the hands of cruel master. 1 Peter 2 18 to 25. But while some clergymen use Christian scriptures to justify slavery, others were screwing the table to find reverence to help end the practice. Although evangelical tend to receive most of the credit for this, the origin of Christian abolishment can be traced to the late 17th century and the Religious Society of Friends are Quakers. Quakers have always been persecuted for their belief since the sect was established in the mid-17th century. They believed that everyone was equal in the sight of God and capable of receiving the light of God, spirit, and wisdom, including Africans. I'm not going to read no more. I think I've read enough. Yeah, I think I read enough of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I read enough of that. Yeah. So the church make a whole lot of money out of slavery. The church make a lot of money out of slavery. So this is the question I'm asking you now. Why an apology for slavery from the church is not enough? That is the question that I'm asking. Why an apology is not enough? Why? And I'm taking calls. The phone line is open. The item can call me on 07852923892. Why an apology for slavery with the church involvement? Why is it not enough? Why is it that we shouldn't accept these knockoff apologies? Why is it not enough? What would be enough? We are take calls on 07852923892. Yeah, man. Why an apology is not enough for the church involvement in slavery? Why we need more than just an apology? Why is it that we need more than just an apology from the church for its involvement in slavery? Why? Why do we need more than just an apology? That is what I'm asking. We're taking calls on 07852923892. What says you? Michael, repatriation, we defend an apology. We have to get closer for the ancestors. Okay. Why an apology is not enough though? That is the question I'm asking. I may take calls span 07852923892 and everyone and anyone can call, you know, not feel shy. You see me? Not feel shy, man. We are take calls. WhatsApp, call me upon the WhatsApp. If you're in the UK, you can call me straight. But I prefer the WhatsApp call still. We are take calls right there, sir. Right upon the WhatsApp. Why should the church do more and an apology is not enough for slavery? I mean, I hear the Christian them a pressure the church, you know. All them get up and talk about a Jesus. All them get up and talk about a Jesus, and Nancy say, but them forefather, them forefathers was involved in this same slave thing. How the call drop? How that work? How that work? That doesn't work. Yeah. I have to make back the call. I don't know how. I'm always try a thing with my thing, them, you know. Blessed love, family.
So you
Majesty.
hear now, right?
Yes, I. Loud and clear.
Right. So the church, why apology is not enough from the church? Because my response is that in this day and age here, when you look at the people who serve the church the most, the people who are the servants of the church, and you look at the servants' condition, the people who is members of the church, people who partake and who uphold the church,
Yeah.
when you look at their conditions and the way how they live, they don't live nowhere close to how the pastor live, you know. Not even close, you know. You understand? In terms of monetary wise and financial and how they take care of the pastor, you know. So it's like the church need to find a way now to make itself something more relevant or something more conducive to being worthwhile. It made sense for my grandchildren, like a grandmother should say, well, my grandchildren, my daughters and them as a part of the church, they was able to achieve this. Because right now, the thing's set up in a way that way everything is about dollars and cents. You understand? And it come like if you're telling me, oh, I'm sorry, as you say in Trinidad, sorry don't pass curry. So you have to find out something to do to prove now that you're really sorry. You understand? You have to prove the sorry makes sense. And from what I see, the kind of money where they built up and acquired throughout the years, it's time for them to give it back to the people now, man. Because your grandparents and your four grandparents and all the people who suffered throughout the times, you supposed to collect everything that was owed to them too, you know. You understand? As a living member of the family, you're supposed to be able to achieve or get something from them. That's why reparations and paying back on these things is big, serious business. Black people ain't supposed to joke about that right now at all, because that all your grandparents' wealth, what them acquire and what they built up, that's supposed to be for you and your youth and them now. Jehovah's what I say, my lord.
Yeah, so you think that Rasta today, Zin? You think that Rasta today are the movement today that should leave out of the movement? That part of it
For
where
reparations?
we're agitating for reparation from all parties that are involved in the slave trade.
Yeah, Rasta done lead the way with that long time already. You know?
Thank you very much.
Because
So it's not
Rasta lead
something.
the way with that a long time right now. We're fighting for that long.
So it's not something that Rasta can leave out of their movement.
No, you can't leave that out of the movement at all, my lord. That's supposed to be probably like maybe the top two issues in the whole scene in the matter. These people have money will belong to the I&M, and the I&M must get it back. You understand? Must get it forward again, because what is it doing with the money? You understand? It's just keeping us in chains and in shackles mentally, because you don't know already too. Within having wealth, it's a serious thing, you know, to have money to take care of your family. It helps broaden your horizon. The money is not just the money, you know, it's what you could do. You could, you know, help your youth and them grow and these things. So that's why that's a real important matter. Where Rasta should never let go of at all. And Rasta is supposed to try to find other people now, black lawyers, more black lawyers, people in the government, and all these things there. Trinidad has some of them, you know, Trinidad, but the Rasta in Trinidad are sorry to say it like this, you know, but they're not pushing it enough, you know, like them kind of ways that the elder them, the man who connected to the members of parliament. These men don't really push it on them hard enough, you know. It's supposed to have reparation day every month, and as we're looking at hold a meeting, we're looking to come together to talk about this now to bring it more and more to the front. But they're doing some work, yeah. I'm not gonna say they're not doing any work, but to me, it come like you have to drill it in the head, you have to pound it in the head every time, because they're gonna keep prolonging things and prolonging it and making it stay longer. And they're gonna say, oh, we're gonna wait again and just now, and not enough people care about it and these kind of things. And not for the youth too who coming up, who wearing their pants below the bottom. Them supposed to know about it so that they can start to move themselves towards that too, because that's the problem, the problem really is that there's too much people all over the place. We're not together under one banner in terms of we need to know what we're gonna deal with here now. Everybody deserves the reparations, come over here so. And then we now represent to them over there so, understand? That is what holding back and things from what I see right now in this time is like it's enough things getting hold back because we're not really trying to push it on them, because like people think it's a joking thing. It's not a joking thing, you know. This money what they have for reparations is a money with data, you know, the money right around, you know. You could see it every day in front of your eyes, you know, you understand? So it's not like no them want to give it to me, they will never give it to us. Nah, they will give it.
So let me ask the this. So how do you react to ones who are saying like Africans who were in slavery in the diaspora, they were actually subject to the British crown, meaning that they were sold and they were owned by the British crown.
The ones who come over here, everything have level state, right? So everything have a level state. So within the levels now, it go have people who might need to get more money, you understand, because they have more family involved in the matter. Might have been the whole family, you understand? Others might just have part of the family involved in it. You know what I mean? So like the Maroons went away. Them was under it, but them run away. So them didn't really work. Them didn't build up no society like the other blacks who was did it. Because it's too, you understand what I'm saying now? But they still owed something. The Maroons still owed because they was put under persecution and they was prosecuted and they was under pressure. You understand what I'm saying? So it's different level state still. But I think everybody who involved, who indigenous, who from that place, they have some right to get this money. And not the politicians them. Certain people should be excluded too. If you was a politician for X amount of years and your name is so and so on, you're a black man, you're not getting no reparation, nothing, because you was robbing the place and you was a part of the reason why the system was staying up all the while. You understand what I'm saying? The man, the Ministry of Defense and all these things, because we don't know it is true power is reign, through the iron fist, you understand, through the gun. So that's certain people mightn't be able to get as much as others, you know what I mean? I would think it would only be fair if a man whole family was under subjugation, under pressure, and was enslaving himself and building up cities and building up countries and building up things. Them deserve to get that might be more than the next man, you know what I mean? What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, I agree with you, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, there's a level to it still. Not just everybody has go and get, you know what I mean? Yeah, the money has to go to the right place in the right way. Because it have a setup for that, it have documents, it have things for that still to this day. Right here in Trinidad, they have history on slaves and who come down here, which last name, and all these things it doesn't be bringing out to the population too. That's why I realize why people don't really pay attention to it as much, you know? But I'm figure like, what them Rasta man talking about reparations and money to get back money? The man, them don't know what they talking about. Who going to get money from what the government? Them don't give you nothing right now. Yeah, that because nobody not organized, nobody not really pressing them about an issue where them have to pay back for what they really have to spend money on. If you ask them for a park or for a little money to build up something in a community, them don't care about that. Them just, you know what I mean? Them could build up that in their eyes closed. But this reparations money is billions and billions and billions, probably even trillions.
So
Because when you multiply,
all right, what about the integrations of European Rastas now in the movement? How important it is for them to be agitating for this compensation and reparation for black people?
right? So it's important for them European who claim to be Rasta. It's really more. It's important for them because we can't deny it. Rastafari movement stem out of black culture, blackness, right? So if it is you claiming to be a Rasta and you're from Europe, well then it's the same thing like the church. You're gonna have to prove this Rasta thing because wearing locks don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? I know enough man we don't have locks and them have more of that spirit. So not just wearing locks and coming to a party or going to a concert means that you really is Rasta. You have to really stand up for the people, really and truly, because that is what it is really all about. Rasta is a unifying, is a fighting force, energy, you know what I mean, rocking with Rasta. So if you're a European white man and you claiming Rastafari, you better be talking about reparations first and foremost, and that better be one of your issues too. You better be saying that loud and clear. If you ain't saying that, we might as well exclude you immediately from out of the movement and be like, yo, you have to go so. Because I know some of them too, so who's white and who's Rasta, and them don't really hear nothing about no reparations and them ain't hear nothing about nothing. I think that should be a test too, to test some of them to see which part they really stand. Because if there's a white European is a Rasta and you don't deal with reparations, well then what are you talking about then? Because you're just saying Haile Selassie. That don't mean nothing. Anybody could just say that anytime, you understand? If you really say no, you have to give these people back the money, and my parents benefit from this too, or my grandparents, yeah, I will give them a piece of my pie too. Because that one love thing only makes sense if you're really showing me that like that. If you know where I'm coming from. If you're over where they are come from, if you're really talking one love, you have to show one love, you understand? You can't just be one loving. Nobody want to hear you with that right now, in this time and here right now. You crazy, put something on the plate. Let me see where you stand up, you understand? So that's like my position. Like that's supposed to be the litmus test for a white Rasta to ask him, yo, a European Rasta, yo, you support reparations? The minute he say no, he don't want to hear about that, so he not on that. Then as you done, you have to just move, get him out of the way. He got to get himself out of the way. And in ancient times, certain man had trimmed some of them and things too, and I don't want to sound too radical, but them is the kind of movement that Rasta was like, you had to move out of the way if you don't want to stand up and deal with this thing, or you'll get beat up or something will happen to you. And from other people too, not just the Rasta go do that, some other people go do that too because they go know you're on folly. So if you're claiming to be a European Rasta, you better talk about reparations. Because saying Haile Selassie and saying one love, that don't mean nothing. And I don't mean shit. Excuse my language, but that don't mean nothing.
Rasta is serious.
But your overs what I said, if your overs what I come from, if you say Europe, if it's a European man, you don't deal with reparations, that means you're in a big quandary. Because everything else is just, a man could always say Haile Selassie, a man could always say one love, a man could always grow dreadlocks, wear badge, you understand, wear Rasta thing, you know what I mean? But what is he really saying now? What is he really representing on the other side of it now to really show his manhood and who he really is then, you understand? That is how I take on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, European, come with something to back it, Don't just talk it.
Yeah, totally agree. You can't just just His Majesty teachings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and grow dreadlocks and then wearing thing and then going all the different Rastaman party and all the concerts and then taking picture with people and them, because they'll do that, you know what I mean? They will do that and then they'll just come back around like every look, I know this one, I know I Jamal Levi, I know Burning Spear, all them man is my brethren and this and that, and them ain't really about nothing, yo. When them leave and go back in the house and jump in the car, they don't really care about nothing, They don't care.
Why people are saying that money will not do anything because the reality of the situation is this. Zane, why people are in poverty, why people are poor, is because of the monetary system that we are in, isn't it, my lord?
Definitely, without a doubt.
We are in a monetary system, so people are in poverty and poor because they don't have the financial stability and they don't have the financial security, Zane. And that is why we have poverty and we have poor people around the world. So to alleviate the poverty, Zane, and minute poor people, then you're going to have to find a solution to the poverty. And the solution to the poverty is either you're going to make everything free, Zane, for everybody,
Right.
equally,
Right.
Zane, or you go and reimburse these people and make them level up. Let everybody be on the same level playing field.
Right.
These people have financial security and them also have financial stability. So that way
Right.
they know them poverty is eradicated and you not have poor people no more. And then what His Majesty say now, will come into full effect where there is no first and second class citizens of any nation. Oh, you see that, my
Right.
lad?
Right, correct. And also His Majesty say how your spiritual attainments must go with your physical attainments. So that means you can't be high spiritual and knowing all kind of things to tell people they don't need this and they don't need that. And you have no money, my lord. You understand what I'm saying? Because the same person who's saying how money would not help. Them have a whole heap of money in their account right now. Or if not, they had to pay for something tomorrow night or tonight self. You understand what I'm saying? So that talk to me, they come like, them. That's not a real talk, my lord. Yesterday I get a phone call with somebody telling me they need somebody to stay. They can't. They need somebody to stay. They need somebody to stay. It have people out here where fathers die, mothers not there. You understand? Them alone in a situation. There's 26, 27. Them need some financial stability to help them see the way, and they're not trying to pour themselves or sell themselves or anything to survive. They're trying to survive. They have a youth. They have a next niece. You understand what I'm saying? So it come like you need to have financial stability. And people not that really ignorant, People, they just make us to be ignorant because when we can't get what we want,
Rastafari.
we go and drink, smoke, have a time, have sex, live real life. Because why? We not want to stay bogged down on no problem. So I don't see no argument when anybody could say no money wouldn't help. Money will be the money right now is the thing we're on. How to put the equalizing factor right now we need right now. To equalize this game here now and make this thing fair, you need some money because people need house, people need food. Food have to grow. You understand? Things that happen to make things happen. So I don't understand that whole point. That same person who's saying that them gonna need money tonight, they're probably using something with they're in money. You understand? Everything is money. They're in a house where they pay money for, they're using the fridge where they have food where they pay money for, they're on the phone where they pay money for to be on the phone. Everything is money, my lord. We can't go wrong that. And money to me represents your time, and your ability to how your brain works, So it had enough people because they lack education because they couldn't afford it. They had to do jobs where they shouldn't be doing, but they're doing it because they have to survive. So if they level up, they have a lot of ghetto youth who have potential to be greater than they is. You understand? All footballers, people in school, you understand? Technology, different type of things that have youth where if they had funding for them in music, if they had funding, they would have go off higher than that, my lord. I know that for a fact. You understand? They would have reached a certain level where it would be different. Where nobody would not have to try to look for nobody to kill nobody because the killing thing and all this greedy thing right now is because people don't have much, They're trying to take from each other now.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
You want to take my thing because you don't have none. Who holding your thing back is your whole the system set up in a way where they're making these monetary things an issue. You understand? You can't even eat a bread if you have $1 in your pocket.
My lord.
So I don't know what I'm talking about with that. You know what I mean?
My
That's a kind of ignorant statement to say money would not help. Money will equalize it, my lord. That's the equalizing factor.
That is it. And look, we gone in a age now where them a talk about cashless society. See, that
one day.
you see, that are the age now where we gone in and now, you know. So people have to know what them a talk about, you know. You understand?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
all right. So we're gone in our cashless society. Fair enough. Then we not fight it. We're gone in our cashless society. So everybody have bank account, right? Everybody have bank account. Now, you know everybody ethnic background. Everyone ethnic background, you know. If alright, you're in Trinidad, you know the ethnicity of the population of the people in Trinidad. Jamaica, you know the ethnicity of the people there in Jamaica. In England, you know the ethnicity of all the groups that are here in England, because England is a multicultural society. Just the same in America, you know all the ethnic groups in America. Zena, why? Because there is something that we call a database. Zane, and with this database of all the information stored on every individual. Zane, every individual of them information store. Zane, rather via their NI number or the NRN number or the birth paper, whichever. You understand, my lord? So this thing is a simple thing now, you know. So you know everybody who is African, who is African descent, African American, black British, you know everybody who is of African descent. So everybody who is of African descent, you have them bank account. Zine. So every month, you are put £10,000 in a them bank account every month without fail. Every one of them judgment ball Africans here, whether them they are Brazil, whether them they are Jamaica, wherever them find themselves, you are put £10,000 in a them account every month without fail until them dead.
Yeah.
And you see if you now have a better judgment ball world.
Much better, much better. A greater world. Yeah.
Because we living in a modern age. Zane, and that is the simplest way, because you know everybody ethnic background, you know say these are African descent, so for them 4 parents was involved in slavery, so they are due to be paid out. They are due compensation, they are due reparation. So you just
and
do
they
the
have
thing.
the money. They have the money for it. They have the money. All the gold, the queen stole, all the diamonds and rubies and jewels. Them have the money. Them control the way how the inflation and how the this and that go. Them have all the money, you know, my lord. So it come like we're not talking nothing. We're too out of the way or ridiculous, you know. People might think so, but it's not ridiculous. This is a real thing. What could really happen? They have the money for it. They control the system. They control the way how money is spent, how is inflation. What price for this supposed to be?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, my lord?
Exactly, my lord.
Them know what they're doing with it. So, but them playing me for fool, because you see now, when you have a jackass, you just ride it. You understand what I tell you? So this is what going on now with the whole thing. We not really pushing out on them, but man chucking them, you know, man chucking them and spinning them up, you know, because they did have a committee we talk about that, the Prime Minister in Trinidad some years ago talk about that. So they gain some way, they gain some Americans talk about that as watch Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a madman, I know he's watch him too, you know, but Pharaoh he's a man listen to still every now and again, but then he on that hard. He want his money. He want his money.
Yeah,
And every country supposed to be pushing that, you know.
Defend the
You
money,
understand?
of course. Defend the money. Yeah, me agree with him. Defend the money. Defend the money. You see me?
Yeah, them have to pay the money out. They have it too. I think they're the biggest thing. It's not like we asking for something that they don't have or they don't owe it to us. They owe it. They take people land right now. The land where I own right now belong to the Queen. So they say it's crown land. You feel like I'm paying anything for this? Never. No money never comes. You understand what I'm saying? Shit. They own things that belong to us that we're supposed to just take from them just so still sometime too. Now and again we just take thing and just give you that, and Prince Emmanuel was wise too because the whole Bobo Hill, he write to the Queen and the Queen respond to him and allow him to stay there. Them kind of thing is what we're be doing to all of the take back thing as we can do it, take it back, my lord. You know them kind of ways there? And push for the money to come same way too. Yeah, take back some of the land. Take back some of the thing. Take things from them, my lord, until they give you what is the full 100 what we supposed to get. Where youth could not worry if the man pass away because until I know some youth and thing, them under pressure because their father die out and them the father ain't leave nothing, and you know what I'm saying? So all that not having any money talk is crazy talk, my lord.
Crazy
money
talk.
is the equalizer. Is the equalizer. You feel somebody that call me today and tell me how they need to find a place to stay if they had the things organized and if they come from a family where, you know, things were set up. Them would not do that, you understand? Certain women would not be out in the street whoring themselves for certain things. All this is a serious thing, you know. You understand? People don't look at it like that, but it's a serious thing. That woman who just do things because they pay the rent for the month, my lord. They go by a man and do the thing and they get the money for the rent. If them didn't have to do that, them would have never do that. I know that. I used to talk to some of them. I know that for a fact, you know.
For real. For real, my lord.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Telling you, it's a real thing. Right now, it's school books coming up in China. I have to spend money to buy school book. You know how much man gonna get phone call from woman now? And how much man gonna do and them woman go do things to get a school books for the child? If them could avoid that, them avoid that. Them forget, but they had to do it because the child needs school books and they go call this man and they go call the next man and see who could pay and you know, give him a nice time, and that's a reality, yo. But them don't want to do that. But them doing it because a human will always find a way still to make things happen. You understand what I'm saying? He don't tell you that. If he'll rob everything to feed the daughter, you understand? A man will do that. Not for this crime in Trinidad, there's that too, you know. A lot of people killing people in Trinidad here right now to get money. Yes, they go buy the gold chain and they can't think, but they're taking care of the family though. They have 3 children and they're taking care of all of them. All the children nice, but they're killing people and robbing people for that, you know. You understand what I'm saying? And they're taking great risks too because sometimes they just go out there and don't come back. You understand? They kill 2 today. Every day is like that in Trinidad. I don't know. They kill one here, they kill the next one. So they tell this man was a robbery. My cousin just passed away 2 weeks ago because they come to rob him on his job. And they shoot him and kill him and then they find out the youth and them. And not even 3-4 days after they lock them up. All life for money, you know. You understand? If them didn't have to do that, they would not do that too. And if he didn't do that job, he would not do that job neither. You understand what I'm saying? Because there are other things he could have been doing besides that. Driving truck to deliver certain things and stuff, you know. He didn't do that work, but he doing the job because that's the job he had to do to survive, you know what I mean?
My lord, it is imperative that the playing field have to be level. Bro.
Yeah. Equalizer.
Man.
Equalizes the playing field, yeah. Stop all this kind of craziness. Equalize it now.
Yeah, I think that's some Christian talk when some man talk about them now want money, this and that business.
Yeah, some kind of crazy talk, yo. That's crazy. I don't say that. I would have run from him if I was a bread, if I was in the public. I might have scold him if I could have seen him. Like, you know, like, you crazy talking. Look at wearing sneakers and shoes and pants. And we're talking about, but walk around the place, you understand? You wouldn't do that, though, you know what I mean? But you would say people don't need money because your thing's straightened out. Or you could live in your house every day and don't go outside. And, you know what I mean? Crazy talk. Crazy talk.
The people need the money, Major.
Yeah.
Hurricane dust pass in a certain place, bro.
And lick out thing. I watch. I can't even watch no more of it, no my lord, because I see too much place destroyed, and I feel it. You know, because the people and them is some humble people like the I&M same way. Some good people, the house get mashed up, yo. Them have to look for money to build it back.
You see it? Money them have to look for, Bobo. So when
must get back to that money.
When people say, boy, we not, I understand the fact that we can do without them, of course. We can do without them or whoever. Zine. But the fact is, people were involved in this. The church, I'm going to read something from the church soon. The Archbishop of Canterbury. They were involved. And for them now to come and say, boy, them apologize, Zine, then them know that they have done something wrong. So, alright, since with them do something wrong and you hear the cry of the people is saying that you need to compensate us and you need to give us reparation. You understand?
Yes.
So the church, which is, can't remember church and state, so the church and the state link, which is the government which control the monetary system.
Yeah.
So the church, which have a big influence, then would now influence, just like how them colonize with the church, then the church will now play that part with agitating for getting the reparation and the compensation money for African people globally.
I agree. Here is why I agree 100%, right? Because here is now, to me, it's like, so all kings, right, upon the face of the earth, whoever lived throughout history were documented, all of them, in order for their kingship to be ordained, they had to have a priest. If the priest could not make it on that day, the whole coronation had to wait until the priest came up and say, all right, we can do it today. You understand what I'm saying? And that's him bringing the king. Then the king will bring in a government after that. So now the priesthood, which is the church again, we're talking about the church is the priesthood. These people have the power to influence a whole thing, because without the priest and them saying today is the coronation day, we're going to move today. If the priest go to the king and tell him, hey, you see that way you're doing this, stop that now. I don't want that to happen. That is going against the ordinance of this and that and da. The king have to bow down to the priest, You know that too, my lord?
100%.
The priesthood is what is bringing the king. So for them man to apologize without looking to go back and tell the king now, this is what you have to do to correct these wrongs, because we pray and we do whatever and we get a significant message from whoever saint or wherever. No, you all have to come and say it out loud, profoundly, that you all need to pay people back money, because you all had to say so. But I watched the Pope. This last Pope what was there. I watched, he went into the American government, in the Parliament of America, and John Boehner, which is the Speaker of the House, who come at the highest man in the House, he cried and resigned the same day. He cried and he resigned after he made the Pope and anything, and cry on TV, cry. You know why? Because the Pope and them have a bigger say than the president, This is something that people don't realize too. The Pope had the biggest talk. When he talk, he could shut down the whole country, my lord. You understand? Where Philip best bombs for and make bombs fly across the go, and a picture of that is a reason why. So to me, like the priesthood and the churches and them more powerful than the government, my lord. You think I agree with that or disagree with that?
Yeah, man. I see everything. I say, my lord, them have the influence. You see?
Them have more power to say that more than me and the eye.
Yeah.
Me and you could say how we want. If them say tonight, by tomorrow morning, them looking to mobilize and figure out how to go and make a committee now to try and structure it, to try and make the money go back, so on. Them could do that overnight, If the Pope really come and say, yo, reparations must go back throughout for all black people across the whole globe, face of the globe. You understand? And those in particular who was in slavery and who was brought over into the Caribbean islands and into the Americas. Them in particular, they give them some more money, you understand? Because them thing different to certain other type of slavery. But them could make that call tomorrow, and by next day the money to them make movement. Account starting that thing out. And these rich people too, and these governments are rich. Them have a whole heap of money just stuffed up and pile, And zeros and numbers and gold, and them have things just stay doing nothing at all, While your youth out there looking for money to pay for school book, for children to go to school and have them go and have a sex to buy the book and them kind of thing there. You understand? Money just sit down in what they call it, Fort Knox, and where's the place in England where they store the money? All that store right there just doing nothing. It didn't supposed to even be there. You understand? They stole it. It was stolen anyhow. So you understand?
So yeah, distribute it.
Yeah, it's send out that money now. Let the thing get the even playing field now. Level out the playing field now. Let people see their way and let people stop stressing, man. People stressing for money every day. People can't see the light of day because they're looking to pay bills. I asked a session what day it was, I was like, when was the first time you do something for, when was the last time you do something for the first time? And she was like, boy, I don't know, I can't remember. But you see how people mind, she managed just to go to work, go home, sleep, pay her bills, come back home, go to work. She can't do that for the first time. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, like, people don't even get to experience life, you understand? Because they have enough money. They have to stick to working, go and do this job tonight. Then I get up tomorrow, do a next job. I go again, I do a next job. And so I go, I just, when I home, I not even home, I sleep in. I cannot talk to people talking right now. Them going home to sleep and get up and leave the house to go and look for money. Every day, you understand?
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you have enough ones, them just get up and them just go run a morning time, come back in at them house, go up on them, them computer, have them cup of tea and them breakfast, go up on the stock market, make couple thousands or millions, and take a drive out for the day, come back in, have and them life is just cushy and them not have no worries.
Yeah. Or they might take a trip, go somewhere, carry the family on a vacation, watch a youth and them play. You know what I mean? Like, some of these people right now who working, who I talking about, them can't even carry their youth a proper trip, They can't even say, well, look, we go and do this today. Them have to plan for that for months at a time to go on one trip for a youth, to go and see the bird sanctuary, to go by the pitch lake, to go somewhere, Like, I'm like, yo, this is how we live in here, and it's a dread thing with this money thing, That's why that talk is craziness, man. The man, whoever said that, them don't know what they're saying, People, if they could have lived better, if they could have a 4-day work week, and they just work for 4 days alone, and them kind of thing, them people will appreciate that more than anything else. You understand what I'm saying? Because everything right now is about paying your bills, making sure you can eat, making sure your youth eat, making sure your youth have what it need. If the youth need some dental, the youth need hospital because it's youth. You understand? You have to have things for that. You have to buy, they get sick today, you have to buy, go to the grocery and or the pharmacy and buy wherever, or use your bush or everybody, or wherever it is, go and buy your herbs, you know what I mean? You have to make sure and pay for that. And people just want to take care of their family, that's the whole thing, my love. People want to take care of their family and their loved ones, yeah. People want to see their loved ones do good and go out the road and come back home safe, Put them in a summer camp. My brethren can't put youth in the summer camp. Like we used to talk more about that too. I said, look, summertime, put them in a camp, man. Them some look at youth, them is 6 and 7 and thing. Put them in the camp, them play football. Boy, that's gonna cost me this much money. And how it is right now, I can't pay for that. And then I had to get up and drop them and bring them back. And these type of things what people dealing with, you understand? The money so that he can hire a driver. Because if you pay for the school, then you have to hire a driver to pick them up and drop them back. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you need this money thing, my lord, to help the youth and them grow properly.
These are the realities, my lord. We are dealing with reality. We're not dealing with illusion or make believe. Is reality what people are dealing with. You see me, I say? And the reality is, poverty is there and poor people is there. And if people have money because of the system that we live in, people won't do certain things. You won't have crime. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
certain
because
crime.
some people won't even deal with each other. Some people, if they had money, they wouldn't even deal with our people. They wouldn't even go around this man to say, well, I'm gonna look up to you because he go and buy all the gun and he go and buy all the this because he all the biggest gold chain. I have my own thing too that be wrong there, but to get influence. This is why the crime thing would have dropped. From how I see it too, if people have the money. The crime thing would have dropped. The crime thing big now in Trinidad because why? A youth man go watch a next, a bigger one who have gold and car and thing and go look up to him and go try to follow him and do what he say. You know what I mean? Because he trying to get money same way. But if he had his own money, he could be a little done for himself in his own little way. In his own house, with his own bridge, in his own vibe. But you know what I mean? Due to the system now, how people looking fit, Like I say again, a man will rob you to take your things just to pay for certain things for your youth. It have that going on. People just figure when a man robbing, it's just to buy gold chain and to have a time and to spend money on Hennessy. No, it have some man really robbing people to pay for things, yo. Look, they just recently, or today they just arrest a woman in Trinidad. And I remember that too. For $2,000 of school books. She went to a store and stole $2,000 worth of school books. Yo, everybody in Trinidad saying, nah, boy, how this thing so and but few people willing to spend their money to try and help her. Because same thing again, a man, he can't spend $2,000 to help her and he have his youth stay the same way, you understand? And she only doing that, she risk her whole thing to try and pay for, to get her school books for her youth and them, because that is a way where enough youth just come out of poverty too, you know. When a youth grew up in a poverty house and there's poverty, and he grew up poor and thing, when he get big, he looking to make it, you know, because he done went through that already. You understand? And it have enough get to you to grow up in poverty where intelligent. It's just the opportunities wasn't provided for them to become that way. But they have real intelligent youth where if they mother had a little money to put them in certain program and they do them when they was young, they would be different altogether, my lord. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's the reality, my king.
Yeah.
That is the reality.
We can't even stop talking about different scenarios where you need to hire money and things, my lord. Trust me.
Yeah, man. So
it have a million scenarios.
It is imperative. It is imperative, brethren. You see, it's no going around it. You know, you have to just level the playing field. You see me, I say? Level the playing field. And, you know, you make it into what the thing is now, that people look towards money to, you know, to alleviate certain pressures of life. And that's just the reality. I know we create the system. You see me, I say?
No.
So I that's what we have to deal with. You see?
Yeah, we can deal with it if it level. We can deal with it real good if it level. You know what I mean? A man could be more in control of his youth if he could push his youth in certain direction. That's where the money is coming in. You know? It's enough at the some parents can't do nothing more than watch you go down the drain because they can't send them a summer camp to go and play a football. Remember the time we went summer camp 2006, man? That's what make me a footballer today, or that's what make me an IT man today, or that's what make me a painter, or this, you know what I mean? It have things where they could have do, where I know for a fact could change the playing field, where this crime thing could just ease off real slowly, but it will come off, it will come down, and I mean calm down. Right now it's too hot. That's because the place that the people know that they have to survive off of what they could create, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we close to something happening big, my lord. Trust me, we close to something happening big, I feel. Personally, I feel like there's something gonna come out of this, you know, and we're reaching a point where, again, more and more facts coming out to the forefront, and you can't deny it anymore. For the church to even apologize is a big move still, you know. I give thanks for it still, you know, because now you have that to hold them by the neck with. You check, you could hold them by the neck with that now and say, look, what let's say though, come on, so you say that just for no reason? Mm-hmm. No, you say that because you know people need money, come on, give people the things, you know what I mean? You displace people, you let people down, you put people on the wayside, you throw people away. That's what you're literally saying by apologizing for that day. Everything that is despicable and horrendous, you know that you was a part of that, and you're apologizing now, which is not enough, so now, let me do this thing now the right way now. Come on.
Yeah, man. That's the reality. That's the reality. You know, say you do something wrong. You hold up your hand. You see me, I say, that is acknowledge. That's the first step. You see me, I say, that's the first step. So you acknowledge, say you did something wrong. So how do you fix what you know, how do you repair what you did wrong? Because you wrong had
implications and problems.
Yeah. You see me, I say? So how do you fix that now? You see me? You have to repair it. You see? And by repairing it, you know, the people are saying that they need compensation. You know what I mean? Level up the playing field economically. You see me, I say financially people want to be stable. You see? People don't want to worry about things that them know. They can't remember, you know. The Bible, as where you hear me did I read what the BBC was saying that one of the many process was used true religion was Christianity. Now, the Bible was one of the main tools with Christianity. Then, and
Yeah, that's a,
when we read that, it shows we say, boy, everything God create everything free for everybody. So we know say everything was free. But now we in a system where all of the things them that was created free, then we have to pay for it. Now the church, the church of all of the people them, then that have so much people, congregation, and one man, the pastor alone, have millions and billions of pounds or US dollar. But
yeah.
how much
Yeah.
how much of the congregation him willing for give some of that money there? How much of the congregation him
None.
willing for alleviate
Yeah,
them
he's not willing
from
to get none. He's not
their,
willing to get none.
you see me I say?
Yeah, you're correct. He's not willing to get none though because he knows that if he could keep the people giving him, they wouldn't need to come back there every Sunday. And that's not what I'm saying. But once people realize that they gain from the church, they don't have to go there so much and all them kind of things like that too. So he know without the people them giving him to feel like they're going to get salvation. Now, I tell you the other night, I said the salvation thing is what has caused the problem a lot, you know, because these people go in the church with their heart and their soul and thinking that they're going to get rewards when they die from this, you know, understand? This is where you end up not living. You just end up living in a complete circle, like a rat on or a gerbil on the ball, spinning over and over and over again, but you ain't going nowhere, but you're going fast, but you ain't going nowhere. This is why, you know, he wouldn't give a dime to nobody because he don't really care about the people in that, you know, he care about the church, but not the individuals in it, because why wouldn't pay the organ man money? Why wouldn't pay this man? Everybody to give this service. Everything that the church do is that you have to give service to the church. If it's a family there for the church, the people that cook the food and bring the food. All them thing I went through in my family from early out, I know say this is going to be a problem in my life. Since I was a youth 7, 8 years old, I don't know this is a problem, you know. There's a problem here. Them making people wicked, you understand? Because they making them believe they're going to get someone to die. But while they're alive now, they don't even care about living because they don't care about each other. Because of that, there's only self-salvation. We save ourselves. We is forever beings, my love. We're going to be here for forever. We done been. Once you have a soul and you're born and you was alive, you're here for forever. You understand? I know going back from that. You done incarnated in flesh. That means you was here existing before. And you're going to stay that way. You understand? You're going to keep coming back if you want to. You're going to go somewhere if you want to. Whatever you want to do is up to you. But the people ain't seen it, so they're seeing it like they need to be acceptable in the eyesight of the pastor, true to the book, giving you this teaching to make you feel like you're validated now. You have a validation. You have a stamp of approval. Yes, you're only chosen ones, and yes, you're going to be saved. My Lord, this is gimmickry them doing the people. That's why the pastor wouldn't care about them. And it's hard to break that spell though, because I get in some conversation with some older people who was in the church for years. Them don't want to hear me ever. Understand? I have nothing I could say to them. Don't matter how much I try to explain and give them documentary and talk to them. Them don't want to hear I. Think them want to hear I?
Them don't want to hear them type of reason, you know.
No. Them stick in that zone there. Them in that zone.
Yeah, I pick something from the chat room from Empress. Empress say, then who will receive it? Question mark, I guess that's the money. What will we actually do with the money? Question. We have to fix up morally and mentally first. All right. As I was saying earlier, that every African have an account, and through that, either your passport or your NI number, whichever number, you can identify your ethnicity. So, you get money in your account every month. A £5,000 every month.
You see, my Lord, you see morality. What I realized, I was cutting you off. I was going to answer she now over this one, because morality comes into play when you have a broken down society. So if a society is broken down, a lot of people, my Lord, just drink alcohol and do a lot of drugs. Whether they want to agree with me or not, they do a lot of those things because they're in a position where they don't see anything being progressed. They're in problems. So a man will drink alcohol to try and get away from problems for the night. A man, youths go do all kind of different things because they're trying to get away from problems. Now, if it is you have people where they can have something to look forward to when the day come, like I say, a 5,000 at the end of the month, a man could budget himself and work things out easier than if it is here to try to figure out that. Because a lot of the stress that we're going through because of lack of money is create a situation where the morality is get low in the community. You understand? The morality gets low because people focusing on how to survive now. I don't forget everything because you know what? I'm nothing in my house. I'm nothing to go nowhere. I see men who doing the same job cleaning fish for 15, 20 years, my lord. You understand what I'm saying? You can't expect them men not to drink alcohol and to laugh at certain things that they shouldn't be laughing at. But as a creation of the environment, there's no way for them to go up. There's no way for them to be a businessman. There's no way for them to do anything else besides that. So the morality is get low because your environment lacking in lack of. We're supposed to be abundant and not be in lack. Ill.
100%, my lad. 100%.
So this is where the morality is coming, where the morality lacking, because people focus is on trying to survive, and when they're trying to survive now, it is need time to have fun within that, because you're stressing over small things, to pay a bill, to send you to school. If the youth man gets sick now, you don't want to pay for the medication thing. These things will stress you on your one. You'll spend $10 on bad drink and drink it, and get high and act stupid or watch stupidity, or your mind start to get lower because you don't have nowhere to go again. I mean, the brethren who doing the fish, he's a cool youth, but what you expect his mind to be on if he just doing that for 15, 20, 30 years? And he have no other means of going up. Because no programming there, no money coming in to do nothing. It's the same thing every day with him.
No program.
You understand? He have to try to find that money to give the day. For today is for today. You understand? Tomorrow go see what it said. That's what they say. You can't have people like that. People supposed to know money coming in. People supposed to know how money coming in so they could do this and budget on themselves and all right, we go buy a boat, we go buy it. You understand what I'm saying? But them opportunities don't be there, so the morality going to be low. And what they gonna do with the money when they get it? Live their life. Pay for their food and buy and fix up their house and live in a nice place. What they gonna do with the money is that. You understand what I'm saying? And how they gonna know who they deserve money? Look around and see the poorest people in the community, and them deserve the most, because them is the people who get the enslavement. It all look fine, you understand? That the enslavement was so bad that it destroyed them. That is why they're so poor right now in all the different communities in Trinidad and Tobago and all over the Caribbean. The poorest communities been in slavery and in suffering and been subjugated the worst. That's a fact, my lord.
100%. 100%.
So you gotta go far to find out who need the money. The people who the poorest that need it first. The morality go fix when they see people could not be so stressed out. And what they go do with the money? They're gonna live with the money and survive and be a better person and take care of their youth and thing. Because I tell you, there's some man with bad and some killers, but them let's deal with their youth very serious, you know. Real serious. I know some man will discipline their youth and them killing people and them doing wrong things, you know. But when it comes to their own youth and thing, it's a serious thing. So that is not far from us to be those type of people who we can take care if we do have to do certain things now, you understand? But they make us sound so barbaric and so idiotic. And they figure, if you get money now, we just go and mash it up, man. It's a whole heap of fuckery will happen and all kind of problems. And you understand? We're not dealing with that. You understand? That's just what we thinking because we see in the situation. But this could change with some money. Telling you.
Yeah, man. Get the people them some money and see what go on.
Yeah, the place get nice again, my lord. The place get nice again. Real nice again. We go back to the days of when we was living with royalty in we heart and we soul, and know we coming from kings and queens and we was a part of empires that was great. This kind of weak heart thing, and we dealing with government and we're trying to vote for PNM or UNC to try and get a dollar, and when them come around after 4 years they give you this and we figure everything nice, and we didn't come from that. You understand? We just accepting that right now, but we don't come from that. Who political party and we had to war against each other to find to make this one come into power. And all these things is just for money again, you know. It's enough people wouldn't even care about voting if them they had their own money to see about themselves. This is a fact, and I enough people is only vote because they figure they're gonna get some kind of money. You check?
That is it. You know what I mean? And then after when, you know, election run and gone, that is it. You know what I mean? Things
they're gone away after that. Everything they're gone, they want to hear about you and where you go is your problem, man. But when it's time for election, the office open every day. Thing come around, you understand? Let me talk, this, that, the other. People know that too, you know, but people still play the game with them because people know that they are no, you know, that's the options right now. That's the options. The options is suck up to a member of parliament, and when the time comes for election time, the man will give some contract and some little thing here and there, and he will get money. And people is literally wait every 4 years for that, my lord. This thing is craziness, my lord. And it's all they're doing all that and going around people's house and knocking on doors. All that is for money. You understand? Just for money. Literally just for money. Them don't really know what them people doing in the background and what them really saying and how much money they really have. That next thing I was trying to tell the public the other day. We don't know how much money politicians really playing around with, how much money treasury really have. Them can say it have $2 billion, but it could be 10 billion, it could be wherever, you know what I mean? So just give people a chance to see their way and have the money, and everything will be better by far.
100%. Yes, I agree. Yeah, give the people them the money and level the playing field, and yeah, things will be better, man. Yeah, you won't have this thing, if you don't want to do them type of thing, then you just stop make people pay for water, stop make people pay for electric. Stop make people pay for gas, stop make people pay for food, stop make, just make everything free as though it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Which they wouldn't do, but guys, if they just want to fix crime and stop spending billions of dollars on Ministry of Defense, because I tell them that all the time, I say, look at that, them spending $4 billion every year on Ministry of Defense. And the more they spend money in Ministry of Defense, is the more the crime rate go higher. I talk about since 2001, since I'm in Trinidad, because I grew up in America, I grew up in New York. But since I'm in Trinidad, every single year they spend $3-4 billion on the Ministry of Defense, buying more machinery and paying for more this and paying for more that. And my lord, the thing just get worse and worse and worse and worse. Then if they just give the people the money and done and see that will help the situation. All right, so we are tribunals, we go and give them that for the year and see if they don't kill themselves that much. But they do that and trying to spend money to buy more things and more machinery and more this and more that, and you're getting lower results. You're not getting no results, my lord.
None.
None, no results. It's just getting worse. It's enough people would have moved out of our community. How much parents would have moved the whole family out of the community and go somewhere else if they want it? You know what I mean? Because the place, they too close together. You don't like me, I don't like you. Say, well, I'm moving out. If they had the money, they move out. Enough youth man would have live in my community where I grew up in, move up. Yo, all my brothers, them dead, You know what I'm saying? Like 15 different youths, dead out. And at that time, where I know them parents, one brother, the last brother who died out, his mother moved the next day when he died. He died the night, the next day she gone from the community. But if she had the money, she would have done it before, But she did the money appear because she used everything to get out now because it get that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is craziness. You know you could have did, but you didn't spend the money at that time because you're hoping everything will work out because you know if you spend this last money here now, it's done. And that is an emergency. Now the brethren dead now, you have to move out now. But she would have moved from before because she was knowing what happened to him before. So all these things, it's a morality and all these things could fix with some money, my lord. And killings.
Yeah, man. The money is needed. Yeah, so the church supposed to fuck out because the church
fuck it up, man.
The church make a whole lot of money now, zine out Christianity, but also, they make a lot of money out of slavery. They made a lot of money out of having slaves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is the reality, So even the Christians, they are the ones now who even should be agitating more than me and you.
Yeah.
That the church